Welcome, Christian, to Metaladium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Megaherz, this new album, in Teufel's Namen, and more things related to the metal world in general. So we start with a common question: how has band been the band during the last year? Because your previous album Comet was released in 2018. Now 5 years later, we have the In Teufel's Namen. So how everything's during the last 5 years with the band and you?
First of all, I have to say it's my pleasure to be on your show, and it's great. Thanks for that. And I have to tell you, the last couple of years since 2018 haven't been the best in my life, and haven't been the best in the life of the band because of the pandemic, of course. And this was really something that hit us very hard. And it was not only bad because we were not allowed to play anymore, but it really made us feel pretty bad about the whole situation, and very depressed, everything. And basically, for me, it's been really dark times. And of course, I tried to release, or we tried to release the album, and we didn't want to take a break that is that long. It was all caused by the pandemics, because it wasn't for me personally, and I'm the guy who writes the songs, and I'm the guy who produces the whole stuff in the studio here. It has not been the time to be creative. I tried, and I did a lot of stuff, but all was really not good enough to be on this record. And so the first good songs came to me maybe when I saw a light at the end of the tunnel. When it became clearer and clearer that maybe, so that's it, we threw this whole shitty thing, and everything turns back to normal again. So, and that was something that lifted us up, also mentally, and made me work even harder. And now I have to say I'm totally happy with the outcome of the new record, with the artwork, with the songs, and how everything turns out. I couldn't be happier than now.
Okay. One detail that you said that when you said a few seconds ago is that when you was very depressed with the pandemic, etc. For me, perhaps it's just me. The album's name, the Teufel's Namen, that in English means in the devil's name. So perhaps it's related with this aspect that you feel the depressive, a lot of anxious, perhaps during the pandemic. Perhaps this pandemic influenced a lot of the lyrics and the cover art to create this new album.
Maybe a little. I mean, there is one song that had to be written, and it basically it's caused by the pandemic, because the lyrics are about all those weird guys telling weird, strange things about what could be the real reason of having the pandemic, of I don't know, some weird guys controlling the public or something, like maybe you've heard of these stories, like the people told stories about this guy's satanic, and the other guy, he's Bill Gates will implant you some chips or some stupid stuff. And we have one song on this album where we talk about that, and it's called Der König der Dummen, because in Germany we do have, there was a guy who was a vegan cook, a really nice guy that everybody loved him, and he was a lot of he was in the television all the time, and suddenly he it seemed like he had a switch in his head who switched, you know, and he became this weird guy telling weird stories about, I don't know, some dark governments behind the scenes. They're controlling other people, and the König der Dummen is about this topic. And it really this song had to be created in order for us to get rid of this extreme and stupid feelings. You know, we had to do something for ourselves, and that's the reason why this song happened. The title of the record, In Teufels Namen, is not so much about the pandemic. It's more or less about you, me, about society. It asks you the question: how much are you on your way in the name of the devil? How much, you know, everybody has to make decisions in their lives, and everybody's following his own goals to reach something in life, to get his wealth or whatever, you know. And we also should care about our neighbors, our friends, you know. It's not all about elbow. So everybody should ask themselves the question: how much are you on one side or the other? And we think it's all about balance. You maybe have to be driven to really hard to realize your ideas, but never stop looking at what the consequences of that, you know. Don't look away what you're doing. Only just there's one line in Teufels Namen, in title track, that says you just don't have to look at what is happening. Just let it happen. As long as you get what you want, it's okay. And that's basically what's the most dangerous thing that you could have in mind, you know. So don't do that. Just think about what's good for you, and what's even maybe not bad for others, and you know, it's not so difficult.
Well, with 11 albums with the Teufels Namen in your career since 1993, when the band's created, so now you are accomplished this year 30 years of existence. That's amazing. This is a great accomplishment for the band, because never band that wants to play, or it's very difficult to see accomplish that the band 30 years of existence. Now for all new bands, it's very difficult to see this. So what's represents for you in Teufels Namen, for you especially? Perhaps it's a very special record because this year you accomplished 30 years of existence.
Yeah, that's right. And I've in the moment you're saying this, I feel so old. Yeah, it's you know, it's us. So we have to do that. It's not a question of should I do that or shouldn't I. So we're doing this. It's the music, and Megaherz is expression of ourselves, and we think we pretty much have kept, you know, we're not some kind of weird cold guys who follow their aims no matter what happens. And I think, you know, some kind maybe this it pays back, because, you know, we had a really hard time. We lost our singers twice, which, to be honest, maybe you know, even one time would have killed a lot of bands. But we kept on believing, and we kept on going away, and doing what we can do best. It's just create music and go out on stage.
Okay. Well, now you are an old guy creating old music, because the music starts in the 90s with you kind of feeling. So now we are living in a world that prefers just single. But now you are still with create an album because this in Teufelsnamen is an album, a complete album. So how do you see now the words is open, especially for the new generation, to just hear singles and no listen by the old ways like all full album? Well, there's a retro movement because in the 40s and 50s the music is spread just by singles at that time. No EPs, no albums, etc. So what's your opinion about now? Are the people more focused into singles? And what motivates you to create an album in a world that prefers just playlist?
Yeah, right. Um, I mean, you know, on the one hand side, I can understand new bands that are creating one single after the other because everything is controlled by social media, and you can work on your social on your success, on the band success, by using social media in the right way, and the right way could be releasing one track after the other instead of a whole album. But you know, I think, well, you know, I can understand it, but basically, if you, I think that rock and roll was meant to have this one huge big celebration of putting a whole album out. You know, it's something totally different. A new album marks a new era of the band. You know, everything changes maybe a little. You know, the looks, the feel of the band, the music is new, and you do not only have maybe one new song and you know, listen to the song and have to listen to another band's song if you want to keep on listening music at this moment. So you can listen to all the 11 songs in a row, and I think that was something that I tried to achieve when I did those songs, to create 11 songs that hold up a standard that is that high that you're not forced to skip. You know.
Okay.
It's a very high aim, and I don't know if I made it, but you know, that's something that drove me and made me try to create even better songs.
Well, yes, yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, 11 albums prove it. So during the pandemic, the situation was different. You had to work remotely and you couldn't go on tour, as you told me. A lot of the pressing into there. So now the pandemic restrictions are over. How has been your experience with releasing this new album? Do you think everything is back to normal now? Is there anything that you learned with the pandemic and decide to keep with this new album, like working remotely, for example?
I mean, I really don't know. What we've learned is that and maybe I know, but you know, I can't say it in general. I can just and tell you one thing, that people have been very hungry to celebrate again, to have parties, and to go on to go on live concerts, maybe festivals, and I can tell you, in I don't know, 2 weeks, if they have forgotten Megaherz, and I don't hope that is the case. And I hope we will have a very successful tour in end of September. So, you know, as you know, we have plans, or we have a tour coming up. It will be our first European tour together with Combi Christ, and it will take us 3 weeks through whole Europe, and it's going to be really fun, and we're looking so much forward, you know, because studio work is very hard. It's very exhausting, because you know, you need all your energy to put into the music. Because if you don't do it, it's gonna be just an intermediate song, and nobody wants that. And going on tour and playing a show is the best thing that you can do. It's like the benefit of this whole exhausting process that had of working in the studio now.
Mhm. Well, talking about tours, I have seen comments from different bands about going on tour is getting more expensive after the pandemic, from the plane
That's right.
tickets to rent a bus, and even the venues prices are too expensive now because I spoke with Devin Townsend, with Christopher from Therion. I spoke with Ray Elder from Warning, and they told me that these prices to go on tour is crazy now, especially in Europe, that there's a lot of things happen now, especially for the festivals now. How do you see this aspect from your experience? How do you see the music industry nowadays in general after the pandemic?
I guess the pandemic has put the whole music scene into a total shock. There's a lot of technicians and guys that are working working on stage, and not the musicians, but all those backliners and roadies and light people and audio engineers. They all a lot of them quit their jobs and went back to regular jobs, to 9-to-5 jobs, because they had made the experience that they can make a living out of that. Because if everything closes down, so what can you do? Nothing. As a consequences, there are less people working available, and the prices goes like skyrocket high. It's really bad. I would even say it at least doubled the expenses for the light guys, for the audio guys, for our backliners. It's really bad, and that's something you have to take into consideration. And hopefully you will buy or you will sell enough tickets to compensate that, because you can't. I mean, even if the costs doubled, you can't double the ticket prices, because nobody will buy it. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
It's not. Everybody is. It's difficult times. Everybody has to see how his outcome is, and people have to check not to spend too much money. I think they do.
Okay. Well, as I said, this 2023 marks your 30 years with Megaherz. So not many bands, as I said, achieved 3 decades in your career. So perhaps are there plans to celebrate it, well, like the right way? A big concert, perhaps a Blu-ray edited. Who knows?
Right now there are definitely no, to be honest, no plans. So our celebration should be the tour, our first European tour, and we will see what comes afterwards. Maybe next year there will be the possibility to film one of those festival shows, or maybe we're doing a special concert for this. But the whole album process has been so time consuming and so much brain consuming. Yeah, we didn't have enough time and enough energy to think about this as well. So maybe it's a good idea to do some kind of birthday concert, birthday party. But we'll see.
Okay. Well, talking about, as I said, our topic, especially from the history of the band, for me, it's very curious to know, because, well, you know a lot of industrial metal bands from Germany, like Rammstein, and a lot more bands into there. And the curious thing about the aspects is all these kind of bands, a lot more, so are talking in German, because since your first album in 1997, Wer bist du, to now in Teufels Namen, always you speak in Deutsch. Rammstein speak in Deutsch. I hear a 5 more bands from industrial metal since the 90s, and all these kind of bands speak in Deutsch. So that's a curious thing because it's like a trend if you want to relate something. So why do you decide to speak since the beginning in your native language and not speaks in English or other kind of language? Why do you decide to put these aspects? And
understand.
did you find something peculiar, some curious to all these kind of bands like you are just speaking in Japan, just speaking Deutsch?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it had been a totally natural thing. Why not use your mother tongue? It's,
Yes.
for us, it almost seemed like stupid because it's such a huge weapon you can use to or like a transportation tool for your message, which uh, we did not want to impact our audience only by playing the music or by playing the music, but also by sending this message. And how better could it be than using German lyrics? We never understood why. You have to think about it because the Megaherz formed when everybody here in the Munich area was trying to sound like, I don't know, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Bon Jovi, those were the days. And we wanted to do something very, very different. We heard this band Clawfinger, which and we were totally fascinated by the combination of this hard, cold, machine-like guitar playing combined with a guy who raps. And it's at the same time, techno was big in Germany, and every time I heard something, some kind of techno playing, I heard those bass lines they use. For me, I always heard guitars playing that, and so it was a very natural thing. And don't forget Prodigy, very huge influence too. So. We tried to make, that was the influences that made us create a music like that, and combining that with German lyrics, and not sung German lyrics, but more or less rapped kind of German lyrics, to make it even harder, and so that was the way for us.
Okay. Well, all the details about about talking about the pioneers into the industrial metal is you Ramster Fear Factory in the 90s was the biggest industrial metal scene at that time. Now 30 years passed from that scene that influenced by the 80s, etc. But now you can see a lot of mixtures with the industrial, electronic, technology. A lot of new bands rise up with your influence. So what is your opinion about now the world is trying to mix everything with your influence, with you, Ramstein, a lot more bands, with the new technology. When you try to use the technology at that time, for me, it's more original that now that recreate that you did 30 years ago. So what's your opinion about now the new bands trying to recreate the industrial sound with different ways?
Well, first of all, it's an honor to influence new people, because Megaherz were alongside with Rammstein and said to be the founders of the Neue Deutschen Härte and this kind of of German industrial metal. So it's really an honor to be an influence for new bands. But I would. If I had one wish, I would tell them to just don't try to do it like everybody has done it before. Try to put something new into it, because that's what we did as well. That's what created this new, fresh, and crazy sound and this new atmospheres. Try to find new ways of refreshing this German industrial metal thing. It shouldn't be a repetition of your, I don't know, of your most favorite band songs, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, try to put something new into it. Be yourself. Be
Yes.
yourself. That's all. I mean, it says it all.
Yes. Yes. Well, we are very close to this interview, Christian, and for this aspect, what kind of plans do you have? Well, for this new album. Well, you told me that you will embark on a new tour at the end of September, but perhaps you will have more tours upcoming, perhaps in US, in Asia, Australia, or who knows, and a full tour here in Latin America, perhaps 2024. Who knows?
We hope to be in the States, of course, pretty soon. But you have to spring us over there.
Okay.
You know, and so we have been all over Europe. We have been in Russia several times, and we have had an China tour. And to be honest, I don't think we will be playing Russia very soon. That won't be possible anymore. We have been in Ukraine as well, and which is as hard, of course, to go there, and we have to see what everything maybe. But will it take? It will, you know, everything. Even when the war starts, this these countries are in such a weird situation now. It will take years to bring it back to normal and to make it possible to be on tour there again. So our first goal is to do, and that's what we're looking forward to, is to do this European tour, which starts on 20th of September, and then let's see what happens.
Okay, okay. Well, as I said, talking about all the aspects, yeah, very different from the band, the history, this new album, Little, we spoke, and we spoke, as I speaking about the music industry in general. Well, I remember 3 weeks ago, I read an article about the algorithms and the power that this algorithm has now in the entertainment area, talking about movies, music, a lot of things more. So now, this article said that the free will is losing because now the algorithm is recommending everything. No, it's not like the 80s or the beginning of 90s when you find a cover art and you like the cover art and you buy the cover art. You need to live, and with that you find a lot, or you discover new bands, music, a lot of things. But now it's different. You just click in one and in the cell phones, and the cell phone recommends 100 bands and just with one, which is one click. So what is your opinion? Do you think the free will is losing the battle against the algorithm?
I don't know. People tend to sometimes tend to go the easy way, you know. And if the algorithm tells you to listen to this band, maybe you're gonna find something that is very interesting. That's the other side, you know.
Yeah.
And in former years, like, I don't know, like 20 years ago, you had to go to your favorite record dealer to get recommendations about the latest albums that you might like, because he knew you. He knew who you are and what you liked, which is, you know, maybe now this guy is replaced by the algorithm. I don't know. It sounds kind of weird, and it's not a very natural thing. I understand, but well, it's the way it is. We have to deal with it. So, I mean, everybody. I don't think it's dangerous or something like that, because if the algorithm tells you to listen to this or that band and you don't like it, then you skip it. So whatever.
Okay. But in addition to the previous question about the algorithm, now one of the main subjects that is the artificial intelligence in the news is available to more and more people. So you can compose a record music with it. So you can see on YouTube channels and etc. parts of the world that are recreating voices, well, dead voices from Dio, from a lot of people singing
That's
Freddie
weird.
Mercury, a lot of things happen.
That's sick. Oh,
And even create cover arts with this new technology. How do you see the impact impact in the music industry has the artificial intelligence. Do you see yourself using it in the future, perhaps for one song for Megaherz?
And the weird thing that I can think of is creating the I don't know vocals in your song with AI, using the voice of some kind of dead singer. That this is so weird. I would not do this because no.
Yeah.
It's wrong. I'm really having a hard time of finding arguments against it because it's so wrong.
Yes, yes. Well, Christian, the sad time arrived at this interview. I hope you enjoy this one like me. Terrific guy, love this the first album. Congratulations on this new one. 11 records in 30 years, a great accomplishment for the band. Perhaps do you want to add something to your Latin American fans and Metalero followers?
Well, guys, just there will be a time when Megaherz will be over to your place and will be playing in a city next to you. But since then, get the album. You will like it. Not because of me, not because of, I don't know, Megaherz, but I think the album has deserved it. It has been a long process, and just it would be really an honor if you would give it a chance and check it out.